Lisa, you are the only person I can think of who has come out of the pandemic with more jobs than when they went into the pandemic, and you already had a ton of jobs. I mean, you launched the podcast, now you're about to launch 2 shows. Talk to me about how Overserved came to be. Where did this idea come from?
Well, 3 shows actually, because Peacock announced Vanderpump Dogs Rescue as well. I've just been very busy because I'm a very kind of proactive type of person, and it's you know, I'm always passionate about something. So Pandora and Jason, who live around the corner from us, were quarantining with us. It was just the 4 of us, and we were cooking and we were decorating tables and we were having fun. And I just thought, wow, you know, wouldn't it be fun to do something documenting all of this? And then the production company that I work with, they said, you know, I think we could do something at your house. So I'm thinking, well, what, you know, and then I thought, well, why don't they just film the thing that we love to do? Then they said, well, what about turning it into a talk show, having guests?
I like it. You have things rich people do that I wasn't even aware of.
Each soiree, I will create a one-time only event with a unique theme.
I feel like I'm in a fairy tale.
This was the fun part, just the same as you know, having my podcast. You can literally say, I want to meet that person. See, they'll come to dinner and say, well, who would you want first? So we really thought about it, came up with a few names. Vivica Fox was just like, well, who's in the first episode. I'm like, she's so glamorous, but she's also a butt-kicking woman, you know. I want her. I had no idea whether she would say yes. And I knew Lance would say yes because he's my best friend, and if he didn't, I'd smack him.
Right, then you would kick his butt.
Yeah, exactly. So, and I think they met briefly, and then Michael Turchin, who's very funny, who's Lance's husband. And then everybody came to play, Bryce. Everybody being, you know, locked up. Just, it had such a feel-good factor. And I didn't want to do anything with any negativity or, you know, even myself the last 3 years, I went through a very, very, you know, difficult, emotional, kind of challenging times for me, losing my brother and then my mother, and then Jiggy died, you know, so just everything that was very important to me was suddenly taken away, and then having all our restaurants closed down. So I was very productive. I am writing a book. I spent a lot of time writing my book. I did my podcast, and then we decided to do Overserved, and it was just a blast.
You get some of my favorite people on this show. You get Trixie Mattel to come to Villa Rosa.
Oh, no,
you get the DeBros.
Trixie belongs to me. Who else? Trixie, I love. We have such a great relationship. I didn't know. Who else do you love?
I love the DeBros, Heather and Terry.
Oh, yeah. They're on too. They were great. They were a real laugh. Everybody was just so happy to be there. And, you know, and some were sober. Some people were, you know, like.
Well, that was my next question is, who lived up to the title the most? Who was the most overserved guest?
Wow.
It might be Michael in that first episode, Lisa.
Yeah, Michael probably took that crown, and he was just very excited, and he's very funny.
He invokes Lisa Rinna's name. How do you think she's gonna react to her name coming up on Overserved?
Oh my God, I don't even care. He just said Team Rinna for a joke, you know, because yeah, that was the second of it, you know. It was so much fun, Bryce.
I do have to ask, if you had to invite someone from the season 9 cast of Housewives to a dinner party, who would it be?
If I had to, it'd probably be from the cast.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, stop. If I had to, who would it be? I don't know. Help me out.
Or would you rather, here, I'll phrase the question in a different way. Would you rather never throw a dinner party again or have to host the season 9 cast of Housewives?
What, the whole cast?
The whole cast.
Oh, no, that would never happen. Never.
You would give up entertaining to avoid that.
Yes, because, you know, it got too mean. And they're coming at me and yelling at me and accusing me as sure. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to Radar Online to give a story. Said no, whatever.
They still make digs at you. Lisa Rinna, not to bring her name back up, even just posted again about the tax thing.
I don't really mention them. And it's not because I'm trying to avoid it. It's because I don't really think about them. The lion doesn't care what the sheep are doing.
You've moved on.
Well, I have. I mean, it was great for me and I had a great time. But when they were so mean, I just wanted to walk away from it. But I just don't spend any time talking about. Honestly, Bryce, I haven't watched the show since. I don't hold any resentment. If they were that mean, then they had a reason for doing it. And good luck to them. I'm going on. Vanderpump Rules, will live on. I shouldn't say that, but it's been a hell of a journey. I mean, to do my podcast, to run the restaurants, the Vanderpump Dog Rescue has taken so much to keep that going because rescue never stops,
Right.
So we tried everything we could. The new show about that's amazing.
You've shot Vanderpump Dogs, the show?
Yeah. It's really beautiful. It's really beautiful. And Pooch Perfect was just a blast for me.
Release the hounds!
Get ready to be Bow Wow.
This is incredible. To do a competition show about dogs, that to me is like a gift.
And to get to hang out with Rebel Wilson.
Oh, yeah.
Top of it.
Her and I are really good. I just made a lot of great friends. And Rebel, she was great. She really was. But Pooch Perfect, with our business being, shut down, I needed to work and I needed to do something because we're also trying to, most restaurants, even with the PPP, couldn't survive it.
Right.
Because of the rents and the insurances and all those things.
You opted to close Villa Blanca, correct?
Well, the lease was up. And so we just closed through COVID. We were going to reopen, but then, by the time the indoor dining comes around, the lease would have, been finished. Right. So, but a lot of our friends didn't survive it. The restaurant, 10,000 restaurants were closed down. So, yeah.
Right. SUR has been back open with limited capacity. What are the plans for Pump and Tom Tom? Are they opening soon?
Pump is opening on Wednesday, St. Patrick's Day. And that's going to be fun. A lot of people have been asking for Pump to be open. And then Tom Tom will follow. But I would like to see the capacity of indoor, step it up a bit because you don't want to open and be losing money. It's been hard enough to keep it going as it is.
Right. You have to be smart about it. And then when people
say, oh, you're rich, I'm a working woman. I can't afford to keep 4 restaurants going, paying the rents, paying all the insurance, which are a fortune for a year with nothing coming in. So, it's been tough, but we were very, very careful,
I can only imagine Vanderpump Rules will be soon to start, I would hope, filming. I would hope by the summer. What are the plans? When will we pick back up with those people?
I'm not allowed to say anything until Bravo announce it. If they announce it, the game with that. But there's always a lot of stories because it's legitimately a restaurant with a lot of young people. We've lost a couple of people along the way, unfortunately, but there's still a lot of people that the audience know and love. That are still involved in
well, I feel like a lot of life for these people has happened in this last year. Even just this week, Lala is a mom now.
Yes, last night. Yes, or was it early this morning? I'm not sure.
I think it was early this morning.
Yeah.
I guess, what do you say to viewers who feel like they're maybe going to miss out on these milestones for these people they've spent, 7-8 years with?
Well, you might see little glimpses of it. I think people will just be glad to see them back. I love Lala. I think, yeah, she was naughty and she got it wrong sometimes, but that's what Vanderpump Rules is, and that's what life is. It's about, they were young and they were growing up and they were finding their way, but she's just such a lovely girl. You're going to see her on Overserved, actually, Lala.
Is she the only Vanderpump Rules kid who comes over?
There might be one more. I haven't really seen any of them. I've seen Tom Schwartz, but I really haven't seen any of them. I hear, and I speak to them, but I haven't really seen anybody until just recently.
Well, I got to wrap up here, but I do want to ask about the book because you teased it on Twitter. You teased it earlier in this interview. What is the concept? Is it a tell-all? Is it a memoir? Is it a how-to guide?
Bryce, how could it be a tell-all? I've told you everything anyway.
Well, because you are a woman who's lived 1,000 lives with 1,000 stories. So I can only imagine there's a lot we don't know, Lisa.
Well, there's a lot about my experiences. I have written thousands and thousands and thousands of words. I'm trying to write a book the book I would like to have read when I was younger. So just to really, it's a motivational book, but it's also, it has a lot of stories in where I think I went wrong, or I could have done this, and what I've learned from my mistakes, things that have scared me in the past that it shouldn't have. It's going to be a lot about that. But I love writing. So yeah, I don't know when that's coming out. I really need to just finish that off in the next few weeks.
You've kept busy. I can't believe how many things you've picked up during this time, but I also can believe it because that's the kind of person you are.
And a big shout out and thank you to everybody at Vanderpump Dogs, because rescue never stops. And with everybody, you know, it was difficult. And we have hundreds of dogs, you know, in China that were pulled off the meat truck. So it was difficult. And a lot of people booked me on Cameo. I think I did 800 cameos, and all that money went to the Vanderpump Dog Foundation. So that, you know, that really, really helped keep us afloat.